Guys, I want to talk to you about something different today. It's going to be highly disturbing, but the truth needs to come out. We don't need the perpetrators to twist the truth and to erase history and to pretend that never happened and lie and say that this is what was the real reason why this lake was created when there's more to it. Okay. A lot more to it. So we're going to get to the truth today. We're not going to play games. We're actually going to get to the truth. Some of the things that I tell you are going to be very disturbing to hear, but nevertheless, it was the truth, and we don't need certain people rewriting history to try to downplay what was really going on, which has been happening ever since people were people. Okay. So this is the history of Lake Lanier. Lanier. It's in Georgia. And I'm going to read to you the article that was written by Jamila Nasheed. On August 3rd, the body of a 27-year-old man was found in Georgia's Lake Lanier. Days earlier, he had disappeared and drowned while swimming. The week before, another man drowned in the lake, and a few days before that, on July 27th, a 24-year-old jumped into the lake where he was electrocuted and later died. For those who are familiar with Lake Lanier, a Georgia landmark, these tragic deaths aren't surprising. Over the years, hundreds of people have died there, making Lake Lanier one of the deadliest lakes in the United States. Christmas Day 1964 is known as the deadliest day at Lake Lanier when a driver lost control of their car while crossing a bridge. The car then flipped into the lake where 5 children and 2 adults drowned. In 2012, the 11-year-old son of Tamika Foster, Usher's ex-wife, died at Lake Lanier. Their son died. This year, on the 11th anniversary of her son's death, Foster launched a petition to drain, clean, and restore the lake. Bearing in mind its history, one can only imagine what will be found if Lake Lanier is drained. It is man-made. It is 38,000 acres. It attracts about 10 million visitors every year, bringing in around $5 billion annually to North Georgia's economy. The lake is located in the affluent Forsyth County, which has the highest median income in metro Atlanta. This fact is especially interesting considering that the body of water covers what was once a thriving black community called Oscarville. That community formed during the late 1800s was filled with successful farmers, carpenters, and blacksmiths until Oscarville's more than 1,000 residents were violently forced out by white Forsyth County residents. Many people say Lake Lanier is haunted, and it's been depicted as such in pop culture, as in the season 3 opening scene of the FX series Atlanta. In reality, the lake stands as a reminder of the American history today's leaders are trying to erase, and the parts of history they deem worthy of preservation. Lake Lanier was named after Sidney Lanier, a poet and Confederate soldier during the Civil War. It's less than 50 miles north of Georgia's Stone Mountain, which features the country's largest Confederate monument, I should say. I'm sorry, guys. Despite protests and legislation aimed at the statue's removal, it has remained in place. In too many parts of the U.S., we preserve the ugly stains of this country's racism while eliminating memories of the thriving black communities that once stood strong. Black towns like Rosewood, Florida, and neighborhoods like Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, were a testament to the strength, innovation, and independence of their residents until they were destroyed by white mobs. Lake Lanier is a chilling reminder of anti-black violence that is still claiming black lives today. The lake's history began more than 100 years ago. In September 1912, a white 18-year-old named May Crow was found injured after being assaulted in the woods less than a mile from her family's home. She later died from the wounds. Despite the absence of witnesses or evidence, a 24-year-old black man, Rob Edwards, was arrested. Edward was then taken from the county jail by a mob of white residents, brutally beaten with crowbars, shot repeatedly, and dragged to the town square, where his mutilated body was lynched. Additionally, Edwards's wife, Jane Daniel, their neighborhood Ed Collins, Jane's cousin Oscar Daniel, and Oscar Daniel's cousin Ernest Knox were arrested. Knox and Oscar Daniel, both teens, were convicted by all-white juries before being hung in front of about 5,000 spectators. In the aftermath of those brutal killings during September and October of 1912, mobs of white people set fire to local black churches and black-owned businesses. They forced all of the black residents out of the county. Decades later, in 1987, on an episode of The Oprah Show, Oprah Winfrey visited Forsyth County, which at the time hadn't had a black resident in 75 years. Today, only 4.9% of that county's population is black, 9.7% is Hispanic, and an overwhelming 72.6% of residents are white, with 63.9% identifying as non-Hispanic white people. In the 1950s, what was once Oscarville was flooded by the creation of Lake Lanier. According to historians, many of the community's structures were not removed, including unmarked graves. In 2017, CNN reported that a longtime diver, Buck Buchanan, claimed he sometimes felt body parts in the lake underwater. You reach out in the dark and you can feel an arm or leg and it doesn't move, he said. Thank you. Just last year, it was announced that one of the lake's rescue teams would no longer be using divers for underwater rescues. Instead, to decrease risk to divers, they would use robots for underwater rescues. The horrific history of wiping out black communities and often simultaneously stripping black folks of their wealth is not unique to the lake. Alabama's Lake Martin, also man-made, covers a black community that formed in 1895, and residents of New York's Seneca Village, which was covered by Central Park, were forced out in 1857. Similarly, highways have been built over black communities for years, and recent reports of plans to build a highway through a black community in South Carolina are proof that this isn't a thing of the past. I'm getting a little teary-eyed. Bear with me. We live in a country that went from enslaving black people to wiping out the communities they built post-slavery. Today, some politicians are prohibiting the teaching of that history while simultaneously promoting a false account of that history. Florida's new African American Studies curriculum teaches students that enslaved people saw, quotation marks, personal benefit from their captivity. It's a heartbreaking testament to the legacy of racist cruelty that too many Americans insist on upholding. So that's what really happened with the lake. I mean, if you listen to, first of all, nobody logically, okay, is going to be enslaved and think that's to their benefit. So that is the most asinine thing someone could ever say out of their face. We kidnapped you, robbed you of everything you have, and we're going to put you in harsh labor and assault women and beat you, and it's to your benefit. I mean, you see the benefit in it, right? Really? That's absurd and ridiculous and asinine and stupid. If you're going to be brazen enough to be destructive to people, be brazen enough to deal with the consequences. Don't lie. Because the truth always comes out anyway. Y'all bear with me, I'm munching. Little ASMR thrown in. Crunch, crunch. I'm kidding, but so bear with me. But anyway, I'm glad the truth came out. And there's so many awful things that have happened there. People say it's haunted. Anything that was created on the backs of others is going to have some major problems attached to it because it was done under pure evil. It's just, and I guarantee you, because God don't like ugly, all right? I guarantee you, the people who decided to do this and have decided to torture the residents who used to live there, you know, they suffered a serious fate themselves. Will we ever know the details of what they suffered? No, not necessarily. But God don't like ugly. And when you benefit off of someone else's blood, sweat, and tears, you're going to get it. And even if you don't get it here on earth, hell is hot. And hell is no joke. I don't want to sign up to go there. But I'm also not trying to benefit off of destroying other people. But the people who have, believe me, they paid a hefty price. If they don't pay it here, they will pay it when they die. But the truth needs to be taught, the real truth, not what they want you to know, what actually happened. Okay? But it's wow. It's just shocking. Really, really shocking how people behave for just because of hatred. Because the people that lived in that town and those areas were very prominent. They were doing extremely well for themselves. And some people don't like that. And you're talking Deep South anyway? Oh, honey. Okay. You already know. So, this is a different video. I knew there was all kinds of hell connected to this lake, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. The truth, the actual truth. Not what you were told by some person who's trying to gloss over what really happened. We gonna keep it real. Anyway, you guys take care. I had surgery yesterday. I had bunionectomy repairs yesterday. Had the staples removed and hardware put in. And I don't know. I can't give you any more information because I won't know until my following visit, which is in 2 weeks, August 7th, is when I go for my post-op visit with my doctor. So I will tell you everything as I learn what's going on with my foot now. It is slightly achy today, but not that bad. I'm got it resting on a pillow that's specifically designed for your legs so I can keep it elevated. I've had it elevated literally all day. I love this pillow. It's super comfy. It's like I said, specifically designed for your leg. And back to square one with healing. Yay, I'm so excited. Not. But it needed to be done, so I'm glad I'm on the other side of things, and I'm glad I'm on the let's heal journey. I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.